The guys have submitted some requisitions of some items that they say they have to have purchased in order to continue doing the show. They've hit me up all week about it. Yeah, it's 9 pages long. Actually, just skip through to page 5. I think that's where the more sensible items start. So skip that first one. 3 new F-250 Ford pickup trucks. I don't think y'all are going to give them that one. Okay, so here we go. Item number 2. So Sandlin has requested a snack cart chauffeur. He said, and I quote, "I can't push my own cart anymore because I'm talent." Also, Sandlin says, "I want my own parking spot next to the principal's labeled talent only." Pounders request a stipend for a wardrobe/swag continuity. He also wants his own golf cart on campus. It has to be Vols orange. All right, Robinson requires a personal hype man to high-five him after every amazing pick decision he's made. Also to remind everyone that he does most of the research. Oh, they've all 3 asked for new recliner-style teacher chairs for their classrooms. They didn't think it was too much to ask for since they need to be comfortable in order to be effective analysis. Actually, this was only Pounders who asked for this. He just thought it would sound better if it came from all 3 of them. And Robinson is asking for a separate teacher lounge just for the 3 of them with their own barista. I think that's just a Gen Z thing with the coffee. Let's see, talent-only restroom access with Charmin toilet paper, of course. Sandlin wanted you to know that he can't work under these fluorescent lights. He said he needs custom mood lighting. It's odd. And skipping to page 9, Sandlin wanted to make sure that I mentioned item number 147. He wanted to know if it was at all possible for him to get 5 additional personal days to burn this semester. I don't know, something about binge watching the Hallmark Channel's fall movie marathon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's week 9 of Horn Lake High School's finest display of bold predictions, mild trash talk, and the occasional factual inaccuracy, all brought to you by a group of teachers who think ESPN might still call someday. The room, still too small. The smell, a potent mix of coffee, broken dreams, and someone definitely just ate Taco Bell. And here they are again, Tucker, Justin, and John, flanked by the ever-patient, ever-neutral Mr. Lewis, trying to keep the chaos at bay. Tomorrow is Saturday, but today, it's all college football.
Welcome to another week of the College Football Show. This is week 9, we have decided. Week 9, and we are here with Robinson, Pounders, and Sandlin, and we have a special guest picker this week, Mr. Jason Witt from Center Hill High School, the principal of Center Hill High School, and he had a lot of his career right here at Horn Lake. Tell us about your career coming up.
My career coming up started out in Senatobia, and then Mr. Usselton was gracious enough to bring me to DeSoto Central High School, where I worked with him for a couple years, spent a few years there, and then was able to move into admin at OB Middle. So I've been an admin at OB Middle, Horn Lake High School, South Haven High School, and now I am respecting the hill at Center Hill High School, home of the Mustangs, baby.
Hey, we wanted to mention a couple of our signs. We've got our signs back here behind us this morning. I especially love the Lincoln for Heisman sign back there. We have somebody rooting for Mom, hey Mom, and then we also had Tongue It for President. Everybody wants to see Tongue It on the ticket in 2028. Is that our next presidential election? 2028, Tongue It for President.
Be huge.
Get him to the White House.
Yes. And, of course, as every week, we are sponsored by the Snack Cart Mafia. And today, Coach Robinson, who are we sponsored, or what snack is featured today for the Snack Cart Mafia?
We're going to snap into a Slim Jim today. Shout out to America's favorite beef jerky stick.
Ooh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
Today's college football show is sponsored by the Snack Cart Mafia and Slim Jims. Because nothing says Saturday football energy like questionable meat in a plastic tube. Whether you're cramming for midterms, skipping class to study the game film, or just need a snack that fights back when you bite it, Slim Jims have your back. Packed with enough mystery ingredients to make your chemistry teacher proud, Slim Jims are the official snack of bold predictions, bad calls, and mid-show regret. So next time Coach Pounders goes 2 for 5 on his picks, just remember, he's fueled by the snap, the spice, and the Snack Cart Mafia's finest Slim Jims.
All right, and before we catch up to last week and take a look at last week, we wanted to obviously mention the Sandlin Cam. It has become a staple, Keegan, in the college football show, and this week's Sandlin Cam is sponsored by none other than Kelly Services. An integral part of Coach Sandlin's toolbox is the ability to open that phone and grab a sub at the absolute last minute.
Yeah, he's got Kelly Services on speed dial in his phone. When they bring out the report cards, it should say, Health Sandlin / Kelly Services for how much they're in his room.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a note from last week. Last week, Robinson, you mentioned that Sandlin never reads his notes for this show because they're posted in the same spot where you have to log in to get a sub for Kelly Services. And while that was a hilarious joke, it's absolutely not true because he knows very well how to log on to Kelly Services and grab a sub, because I rarely miss a day. And last year, I couldn't figure out how to get on the app to grab a sub, and Sandlin was like, I got this. I know how to do this. And he taught me in a split second how to get on there and get a sub.
Yeah, some teachers, after they retire from public schools, go to private school. They may go over state lines. Sandlin needs to be the director of ops for Kelly Services. That's where I think he should go after retirement.
Hey, I would just like to say, turns out, if there's anybody holding up, that sub for October 29th, turns out my birthday is on a Wednesday, not a Monday. So I will be here. So there's no need for that one. I'll be here.
He put it in anyways.
There's no chance he's coming.
This week's Sandlin Cam is proudly sponsored by Kelly Services, keeping classrooms covered every time Coach Sandlin calls in just one more personal day. Whether it's 10 p.m., the night before, or 5 minutes before first block, Kelly Sub Services is there to answer that, "Hey, I might not make it today," text. Kelly Sub Services, because when Sandlin's out, somebody's got to take attendance, eventually.
We had quite the week last week with the college football games. There were a whole lot of winners and there were a whole lot of losers. And our executive of the show, the creator himself, Mr. Maddox, requested that we open the segment this week with winners and losers. And I was going to start by talking briefly about Mississippi State, because my uncle, who is a longtime State fan, he went to Mississippi State, got his degree there, 40 years fan, posted this on Facebook Sunday morning. "The last part of me that could possibly care about what my alma mater does on a football field is absolutely gone. I'm exhausted. I want my time back for the last 40 years. It's no longer entertainment. I don't think it ever was. Women's rugby is my new thing. Somebody, please tell me who the dominant team is, because I definitely want to be fair." And then I said, State has played pretty good this season. It's been a lot of really close games. And he said, stop trying to sell me. I've seen this too many times. And then he asked, which DeSoto County school team is dominant? I'm going to start cheering for them. Send me a Horn Lake t-shirt, please. But only if they're winners. All right, winners and losers. Who have you got for this week?
Yeah, so my loser, I've got Miami. They were second ranked at the time. They lost their first game of the year to Louisville. So the good news for Miami is that Carson Beck, Heisman candidate quarterback, 29 of his 34 passes were caught. The bad news for them is that 4 of those were caught by Louisville. So he threw 4 interceptions, including one on the game-winning drive. Tough loss for the Hurricanes. That might be their chance at a playoff run. And then my winner, of course, Diego Pavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Whether you like him or not, Coach Pounders hates him. But first time they've been 6-1 in 75 years. First time they've been ranked top 10 since 1947. Right after the war, all the boys came home from the war. They put on shoulder pads, got ranked top 10. They're legit. They're legit. Sir Cornelius Vanderbilt, the Commodore himself, is finally seeing a return on investment after opening up the school. This is the most they've ever been in the news. So shout out to Vanderbilt.
Pounders.
Yeah, so my loser of the week is going to be Eli Drinkwitz. Yes, they won the game, but if anybody was watching at the end of, I believe it was regulation, maybe the first, they go in 2 overtime, I don't know, first overtime, he takes off running onto the field as if they made the field goal and doesn't realize they missed till he got to about the 50. That's pretty embarrassing. But it's Eli Drinkwitz. What else do we expect?
State trooper was right behind him.
Yeah, he was just trying to make sure he didn't get hit by a player because the game was still going on. But anyways, my winner of the week might be a shocker. My winner of the week is Texas. And yes, they barely beat Kentucky. But that is their welcome to the SEC moment. To go on the road in Lexington and squeak out a win. We've all been there. Against a bad Kentucky team. I mean, Stoops has made a career off beating teams like that in games. So to win that one after a big win against Oklahoma, I'm going to say Texas is my winner for the week.
All right. Mr. Witt, you have any winners and losers from last week?
Let's go loser first. It's kind of low-hanging fruit, but Hugh Freeze. How do you lose 3 years in a row with the talent that he gets? I don't get it. And then he's always really quick to throw everybody under the bus except for him. He's a blamer, a complainer, and a defender. So he's my loser for the week. Winner, I'm gonna go Arizona State. They took down Texas Tech, who has probably the largest salary for their players in the nation. So they may be back. They may be back on the winning trail now. Arizona State.
I love it. Sandlin.
All right, so for these, I actually did some notes. Yeah.
What?
I did some notes. Yeah.
That's just
that's
scribble.
like doctor's prescription.
Yeah,
That doesn't even say
I did
anything.
some notes for this. I did something like, try to be like Robinson a little bit. So my loser is Memphis. And living in the Memphis area as an Ole Miss fan, you have to hear a lot about Memphis Tiger football on the podcast, on local radio. They were all talking about college game day coming. They were all talking about college playoffs. And then, and it doesn't, I don't get it, because when you read off their opponents for their schedule, they played Chattanooga, Georgia State, Troy, Arkansas, FAU, Tulsa, and they lost to UAB. Out of all those games, their best win, what would y'all say their best win was? Arkansas, who fired their coach because he wasn't doing a good enough job. All right, so the UAB game, to me, them losing, big-time loser, all that goes down the drain. I'm thankful, though, because I don't have to hear about it no more. My winner is Napier, the Florida coach. He gets fired. He's getting paid $21 million because they decided he sucked at his job. All right? Now, I don't get it. I personally don't get it. My whole goal would be to get the job so they would fire me so I would get the buyout. They booed him on the way out. If I was him, I would have been doing the Johnny Manziel money thing to the fans as you were booing me after I won. So, anyways, those are my winners and losers.
He didn't look very sad after the game at all. He knew he was about to get that big
Bank.
paycheck.
Probably slept until 11:30 yesterday. Instead of going over film, going to practice.
I find it interesting that the Ole Miss fan down there was excited about Florida's coach being gone, because there's a whole lot of people that really think it is possible that Lane Kiffin could end up at Florida.
He'd be a great fit.
We have to deal with that every year. It's fine. This just happens when you win. Kobe Dean.
Look at this. Look who just walked in.
Did we get him? Is he coming back to pick?
All right, we wanted to take a quick look at the leaderboard for last week, because Robinson pulled out towards the top, and Sandlin is also tied with 28. But Robinson, what happened last week? Was it
the dog?
The
super dog
saved me. BYU, shout out to them in Provo. Appreciate it, guys.
And then we also wanted to, of course, make mention of our guest pickers. Black came out like a bandit. He got 6 picks. And again, it was a super dog because his super dog pick was at SMU. He ended up getting 3 points for that SMU pick.
There was power in the shades. Power in the shades.
In the naps.
That brings us to this week's Super Dog segment. And, of course, I want to remind everyone you must pick a different underdog team. Nobody can pick the same team. You can't pick from the regular slate of games that we're going to pick from here in a minute. And it has to be at least a 3.5-point underdog. So, who you got?
We're going to take it to some Friday night lights in Hotlanta. We have the South Alabama Jaguars and the Georgia State Panthers. Both teams are 1-6. Georgia State's at home. South Alabama's favored by 6.5. Both teams are pretty bad.
Both teams are 1-6.
Both teams are 1-6. But the Georgia State Panthers play at former Turner Field in Atlanta, former baseball stadium. So I think they're going to protect their turf. I don't see them losing to another one-win team at home. My money's on Georgia State.
All right, Pounders.
So I'm going to steal Coach Robinson's underdog from last week. BYU, for the second week in a row, as the ranked team, comes in as the underdog against Iowa State. Kind of scares me a little bit, but it doesn't. Well, it should scare Iowa State. It doesn't scare me. BYU's quarterback wears number 47. Any quarterback that wears that number has to be terrifying to play against. So I'm going to roll BYU over Iowa State.
All right, Mr. Witt.
All right, we got Mississippi State as a 6.5-point underdog at home to Texas. Anybody here a Hank Williams Jr. fan?
I am.
You are? So there was this song back a long time ago called Family Tradition.
Love it.
Well, there's a family tradition in this matchup. So who's the quarterback for Texas?
That would be Manning.
That'd be Manning. There is a Manning family tradition in this game. So think back to, I think, 1968. Archie Manning made a trip to Davis Wade Stadium. Did not win the game.
Dang.
Years later, I think 20 years later, 1994, Peyton Manning made a trip to Davis Wade. His only trip to Davis Wade. He did not win the game. He got beat. A couple of years later, one Eli Manning made his first trip to Davis Wade Stadium. I was there. He lost.
Oh, geez.
No Manning has ever won their debut at Davis Wade Stadium. We're going to keep that family tradition alive. Mississippi State's going to win outright.
Okay.
That's why we brought him on the show. That's why we brought him on the show. I'm going Houston. I'm just going Houston. I don't know. But
Got that.
I'm going Houston.
All right, it's now time for the main event, this week's pick of our 5 games. We're going to start in honor of Sandlin this week. We have Kansas State at Kansas. It's a Sunflower Showdown, and for once, it actually feels like a toss-up. Kansas snapped its skid against the Wildcats last season, but K-State's defense looks dialed in again after a rough September. Both teams sit in the middle of the Big 12 pack, desperately wanting to climb before November. Expect emotion, offense, and a lot of in-state bragging rights on the line in Lawrence.
I don't know much about this game. I don't know much about either teams, but I do know nobody at Kansas can give me free gear. Mr. Serby, I haven't met you, you haven't met me, but I do know that we have one thing in common, and that we are FOS, Friends of Sandlin. Okay? 2X shirt, size 12 shoes, 3360 Church Road West, Horn Lake, Mississippi, 38637. You'll earn a fan.
I love it.
Give me the Wildcats.
Yeah, extra large shirt, size 10 shoe. Give me K-State.
The Sunflower Showdown.
Yes.
It's at home for Kansas. They have a pretty good environment now. They're trying to bleed that basketball environment over into football.
Trying.
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, Kansas State's a little bit better now. They did beat TCU last week. I'm going to stick with Kansas. I'm going rock chalk.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Big upset.
Okay, well, you already know who I'm going with. I'm going with K-State. After going up there quite a bit, though, there's real heat between Kansas and K-State. It's kind of fun to watch. Outside other conferences and other teams, like they dislike each other greatly. Also, just throwing a little shade at Kansas. Your bird looks like a cousin of Toucan Sam on the helmet. Like, what? I mean, come on. Are we playing football or selling Fruit Loops? So, give me K-State.
The Liberty Bowl is the scene for a major AAC showdown. Both teams are chasing conference title hopes. Memphis behind the quarterback Seth Hennigan's steady arm in South Florida, powered by dual threat dynamo Byron Brown. Expect fireworks. Neither squad is afraid of a shootout. The winner likely punches a ticket to the top of the league standings.
Yeah, with Memphis's loss last week against UAB, they screwed up our one chance of having College Game Day actually come to Memphis and our one chance of having Pat McAfee on this show. Game Day would have been on bill for that game. Also, the first 4 weeks of our show, I think Coach Pounder shouted out South Florida every single week. He has a love affair for the Bulls, and he has inspired me. Give me the Bulls on the road.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been trying to sell our panel on South Florida all year. Their win against Florida looks a little less impressive because Florida's been bad all year, but the Bulls are still a really, really good football team, and Memphis dropping UAB last week is not going to bode well for them. So give me South Florida.
All right.
How do you go to UAB and lose? I was in Birmingham this weekend, and I saw, I think 2 UAB tailgates in a parking lot. Not a parking lot, but a parking garage. And they went down there and lost. Golish is going to be coaching for a promotion. He sees all these jobs open, and he's going to pile it on at Memphis. Give me the Bulls.
Boom. All right. So I envision this being kind of like that final finish move in Mortal Kombat, where they're like, finish him. So I'm going South Florida to beat Memphis.
Another wild night in Baton Rouge. And this one has playoff flavor. The Aggies are off to one of their best starts in years, but Death Valley at night is never kind to visitors. Coach Sandlin talks about that, those night games in the SEC. LSU's offense has caught fire lately, sort of. And this could be the ultimate trap game for A&M's unbeaten run. Keep your popcorn ready. This SEC Classic rarely disappoints. I did have some help with AI writing that particular one, and I'm not sure AI has been following LSU as well as we have because their offense has not been clicking quite like AI just said it did.
No, LSU may be one of the biggest letdowns in the SEC with how good we thought they were going to be coming into this season.
How good they should have been.
Yeah, they have a lot of players returning, especially on offense. And, Texas A&M's Marcel Reed, their quarterback, I think he's a true Heisman candidate. He's got 15 touchdowns through the air, 4 on the ground. I'm pretty sold on A&M. I think they proved themselves as a playoff contender this week. Give me the Aggies on the road.
Pounders.
Yeah, LSU has not lived up to anything they were supposed to be. But like you said, Mr. Lewis, I think this could be a trap game for A&M, but I still just can't make myself pick LSU over A&M, so I'm going to take the Aggies in this one.
And this is why Vanderbilt tripped so many people up for years, because people would go in there, we're going to win this one. So, yeah, absolutely. Mr. Witt.
LSU's offense is on fire. It's a dumpster fire is what it is. Can't run the ball, can't do anything. They don't want to get into a shootout with A&M because A&M will beat them, and that's what A&M is going to do. A&M will be up at least 21 at the half, and that stadium is going to empty out real quick. The Cajuns are going to get out in the tailgates and eat the gumbo and try to forget about football. The beginning of the end for Brian Kelly, A&M by a long shot.
I think you could be right on that one.
Yeah,
another big buyout probably.
I'm piggybacking on that. I'm gonna go A&M. I think it's the beginning and the end for old Kelly. I honestly don't even think LSU fans like him, so I think they'll be kind of happy on the slick.
And you're giddy watching all of this unfold at LSU because we know your love for LSU is not there.
Sorry, I can't help it. It's just is.
Nobody saw this one being relevant back in August, but here we are, both teams with winning records and plenty to play for. Missouri's physical defense faces a surprisingly efficient Vanderbilt offense that's been stealing headlines in Nashville all season long. Don't laugh. This one could come down to a final drive. Unbelievable. This is a great game.
Yeah, if you take a look at Missouri's schedule, I mean, the SEC teams they've played, South Carolina, they won that one by, I think, 9 points. Lost to Bama and beat Auburn team, beating Auburn team, which I think just lost that game due to poor coaching. I think you take a game to double overtime at home. I mean, you've got to be able to pull that one out. So, and then Diego Pavia for Vanderbilt, he is a winner. I think he's also a Heisman candidate. Like him or not, Coach Pounders, he gets the job done. I think Vandy protects their home turf against Missouri. Give me the Commodores.
Pounders.
Yeah, I'll never say Vanderbilt's the real deal, but I also can't stand Eli Drinkwitz. So, yeah, I'm just going to take Vandy at home in this one.
This is a tough one. I think it comes down to who protects the ball the most, who doesn't turn it over. Just because it's a home game for Vanderbilt, I'm going with the home team because the home team usually get about a 3-point advantage. But, man, it's going to be a close one. I think it can go either way. But with Pavia, and I think they've got some momentum going at home, we're going to stick with Vanderbilt.
Sandlin.
Boom. I am very tempted to use the Will of Destiny on this one.
Do it.
It's speaking to it.
No, I'm going to go something stronger than the Will of Destiny. I'm going to go with the short king quarterback of the SEC. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt for the win.
And the main event, a top 15 collision in Norman as Lane Kiffin's Rebels meet the Sooners in a statement game for both programs. Ole Miss wants to prove its offense can travel, while Oklahoma's defense has been the story all season long. With playoff stakes and the SEC pride on the line, this matchup could defend both teams' November outlooks. And Coach Sandlin would say if that wagon doesn't flip, Oklahoma would normally win, but I bet he doesn't say that on this game.
Yeah, so these two teams historically have played twice. Once in the 1999 Independence Bowl. I was not born yet. And then last year, their first conference game. Ole Miss has won both of those. John Mateer, Oklahoma's quarterback, he is elite. However, he's coming off of that thumb injury. He played against South Carolina last week, looked good. I don't know that he's back to 100%, and he'll have to be for Oklahoma to have a chance in this game. Austin Simmons, one of Ole Miss's quarterbacks, I think, is healthy. They threw him back out into the field against Georgia last week. I think he'll see some more action this week. I think the Rebels take it on the road.
Coach Sandlin's been preaching for a few weeks now that Ole Miss is going to have to win the Georgia or Oklahoma game to have a chance with the college football playoff. And with Kiffin and having two quarterbacks, I think he's going to get real creative and use them both. And I think Ole Miss is going to go into Oklahoma and take this one.
All right. We want to let Witt pick last?
Yeah. So y'all know I'm going Ole Miss. I mean, come on. The only bold prediction here from me is the wagon will flip. No one will get hurt though, and Ole Miss will win because they need to. They can get away with losing to Georgia with the playoff committee, but they got to win this one and of course win out. So hotty toddy class of 07.
Sandlin, I don't think we can say that we know you're going to pick Ole Miss when you forfeited their game last week as an Ole Miss fan. So that's
true. I don't really think about what happens last week.
Yeah, it's a little questionable.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Witt.
Couple things here. Last week, Ole Miss went on the road, and they had a 2-possession lead with I don't know how many minutes left in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't a lot, and they lost. Their defense is not good, and you need a good defense when you go on the road to play in a hostile environment. Now, look at Oklahoma. Mateer is not 100%, but that defense is straight 100%. Ole Miss, I think, is still going to be reeling from losing a heartbreaker at Georgia, and then they got to turn around and go on the road. They can't stay in beautiful Oxford, as the Oxfordians like to refer to it, but they got to go on the road, and, I'm going to have to go Boomer Sooner on this one.
All right, there you have it. We have our games locked in for the week. We certainly hope that you have a fantastic weekend and spend all day Saturday on the couch watching the games. You got something to add?
Yeah, fans, be sure to tune in next week. We have an extra special guest picker coming to join us next
So
week.
you're saying Mr. Witt wasn't extra special?
I'm just special, I guess. The next
well,
person's
hey.
extra special.
He's special in his own way.
Hey, we're breaking barriers. We're crossing school lines.
Yeah. We've already talked about that, but you weren't in here.
Oh,
yet.
really?
You were too busy teaching, but we talked about.
Yeah, we talked
Did you
about
film
Mr.
it?
Witt's
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark-esque expedition.
Oh, you filmed
Hey,
it
I'm from
already?
countywide.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One county, baby.
I'm sorry. I was teaching. You hear that, boss? That's something
Teacher
that
of the month.
employee of the month would do.
April 2010, baby.
Teacher of the month, employee of the month, something different.
From the bleachers to the front row, everybody's tuned in, ready to go. Predictions flying like sparks in the sky. This is the moment, Horn Lake Pride. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the college football show at Horn Lake High, where legends are made and the truth don't lie. With Sandlin, Robinson, Pounders on the line, calling out the winners one game at a time. Yeah, it's the college football show at Horn Lake High.
We are running tardy today filming the show because one of our pieces of talent down there is,
He claims to be the talent.
and he is not showing up on time these days. Look at this. We got everybody at the table. And
I got all the way here from Center Hill.
Yes,
He
we came from Center Hill and made it on time.
Lewis and Clark-esque journey down Church Road, and got down.
Different time zone.
So we're just sitting here waiting on Sandlin.
But the thing is, we talk about knowing our roles. I was in here promptly at 8 o'clock, and Sandlin at 8 o'clock is down there teaching health. What are we doing? He's not going to win Teacher of the Month. He's not going to win it.